Welcome back to the Morgan Streetman Show, and we are ending where we began, talking about burgers and Roxanne's fear that I won't be able to have I can only eat one burger a month per Joe Biden's new climate plan.
Well, do you care about the climate, Roxanne, or you just care about yourself? You just want to eat your burgers.
I just care about my burgers.
You just care about your burgers, don't you?
Yeah.
Kind of like the rest of us. But if you cared about the climate sufficiently, you wouldn't do that. You would sacrifice that. And this is the language that's being used, the Marxist-Leninist type of language. You're going to hear from one of our speakers today. This is who the U.S. puts forward at the climate summit last week. No other country put a child on the line. And the child comes on to demand. We demand. And this is, it's you'll pick up on it. I'm going to play the clip because we only have a little bit of time in this last segment. We did want to get to our out there, which we'll see if we can do it. But first, let's hear the U.S. Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, introducing this young speaker to the audience, which includes world leaders. It's mostly world leaders on the line, and they're going to be subjected to yet another series of demands by a child. So let's hear Tony Blinken introduce her and listen to how honored he is to do this. This is such a great person we're about to put on the line.
And now it's a true pleasure and honor to introduce another leader, climate activist Xiye Bastida. She's experienced firsthand the devastating impact of climate crisis. When Xiye was just 11 years old, her town was hit by back-to-back years of climate-driven drought. Then the intense rains came, and then the floods.
Back-to-back years of drought. Oh, my gosh. I don't think anybody's ever experienced that in the history of the planet. And then floods. She had floods also. I mean, this person must be the most uniquely qualified person on the history of the planet to ever speak about climate change, right? Because nobody's ever experienced a drought or a flood on this planet, ever. But she experienced it. So let's hear from her. This is what she had to say to the world leaders. Xiye Bastida.
We demand that you stop any new fossil fuel infrastructure and existing fossil fuel extraction, including pipelines. We demand comprehensive, non-Eurocentric, and intersectional climate education, including literacy on climate justice, environmental racism, ancestral and indigenous wisdom, on historical movements, disability justice, green careers, and sustainable living. We demand that you stop systematically targeting the Global South and Black and Brown and Indigenous communities through environmental plunder, the exploitation of our lands, and neoliberal policies. We demand to get to net zero emissions by 2030, not net zero by 2050.
Well, there you go. She demands it, she shall have it, right?
Not her, we.
We demand. We demand. Who is she even speaking for? I mean, who's the we? By the way, is that a democracy that she's speaking for? Did they all vote on this policy position that she's reading? Or was this given to her by the same adults that gave Greta Thunberg her speeches? I'll leave that to your guess, but I certainly have my opinion on that. And, I think it's highly questionable. I think using children in this way is wrong. I think we see that, but that is a textbook Marxist technique.
Well, it plays on people's emotions.
Plays on people's emotions, the next generation. Bill Maher had a clip talking about folks, younger people. He was saying millennials. Of course, millennials are a lot younger than Bill Maher. And, he was really criticizing their ideas and saying that they're stupid and saying that they don't think that communism has been tried because they weren't alive when we just tried it last century. And a whole bunch of people tried communism and it doesn't work. And I thought it was a pretty interesting clip. We almost clipped it up to play it for you here. Thank goodness we didn't today because I've still got to leave a couple of clips on the table from today. But this is what you get. You get these young people and you just fill their heads with all these ideas. They don't know any better. They don't have any life experience. Now, I'm not against young people having a say, and I'm not against young people having ideas. We want them to have ideas. We want them to be involved in the discussion. But let's all face it. They really don't know what they don't know yet. They haven't lived enough life to be making these kind of judgments. They don't have enough experience from which to judge. But don't let that stop us from putting them on the world stage with other world leaders as a representative of our country's position. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.